Hi, welcome back to Cat's Choice Pet Sitting. My name is Lisa, and today we're going to talk about my trip to Africa to see the African cats. If you're interested in selling your own pet products, check out my paw tree link below. Today we're going to talk about my trip to Africa this past fall. I went to the Masai Mara to see the African cats as well as many other animals, but the main reason I was on this trip was to do some mission work, and we were building a dormitory for some girls. On the first part of our journey, we visited a giraffe reserve, and there was a place on the reserve where we didn't stay in the hotel, but if you stayed in the hotel, the giraffes would come up to the hotel window and you could feed them from the window if you wanted to. So it was pretty neat. And then the next day we went to Lake Nakuru, which is a very large lake, and it's a preserve in Kenya, Africa. And then we went further west to western Kenya to a town called Bomet, where we built a girls' dormitory. These girls were staying in what we would call like a storage shed. It was a wooden structure, and it was not much bigger than this bedroom. And they had 60 girls staying in there. They had bunk beds, and it was 4 girls to a bed, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And these 60 girls were all cozy in this little wooden structure. And so we built something that was a little more safe for them to sleep in. And they actually got triple bunk beds. They could each have their own bunk bed if they wanted to, but some of them still wanted to share a bunk bed, I guess because it was more cozy. And they got new bedding, they got lots of new clothes, and it was just a wonderful time. And then after we completed our project, it lasted about a week. It took us about a week to do our part of the dormitory structure, putting in the cement blocks. I helped with the mortar and striking, and I also helped put in a garden. And here's a picture of a woman I met. Her name is Valerie, and she was from St. Croix, and she and I were the main people that worked in the garden, and it was really nice to get to know her and lots of fun. And when our project was completed at the end of the week, another group was going to come in and finish up the roof, put the roofing on and finish that up, and other details. And they had also installed bathrooms, toilets. These girls did not have toilets, and now they had a very large bathroom with multiple toilets and multiple sinks and showers and running water. And so it was a real change for them, and a lot safer and a lot healthier. And so we were really happy about that. At the end of the project, they took us on a safari to the Masai Mara, and we saw so many wonderful things there, just so many animals, and amazing. The landscape was amazing. We didn't get a lot of rain. It was the mini rainy season. There's 2 rainy seasons, and there's a mini rainy season, and then there's a longer rainy season later on after we left. And so we were at a time where it wasn't too hot and it wasn't terribly dry, but you still had to be careful to drink your water because it was drier and sunnier than we were used to, and they said it was deceptive. You think that you don't need to be hydrated, and you really need to be careful and drink your water, so they gave us lots of water to drink. And and we just had a marvelous time at the Masai Mara. We saw lots of African cats. We saw cheetahs, and we saw lions, And we saw many other animals. We saw the elephants. We saw a lot of baby elephants, so it must be their kind of birthing season. So we saw a lot of baby giraffes and baby elephants, and they were just so amazing. And we went with a group, and a lot of people on this group had been on safaris. It was my first safari, but a lot of these people, it was like their 5th safari or more, and they had never seen a leopard. And that was one thing that they wanted to see that they'd never seen before. And I got a chance to see a leopard on my very first safari, so I felt very fortunate. Our safari guide, he kind of cheated a little bit. He took us off the path. They're really not supposed to go off of the path. We were in these large vans that had a pop top, and so we're really safe and secure, but we were supposed to stay on the pathways, and they're really not supposed to go off the pathway. But he went a little bit off and took us to a tree. He heard on the radio, they communicate back and forth with these hand radios, and he heard that there was a leopard sleeping up in a tree. And so he drove out to that tree, and he took us up to the tree, and it was just, we saw the leopard sleeping up there. He was sleeping, and he was even dreaming a little bit. He was, you could see he was kind of moving his paws like he was dreaming, and it was just the cutest thing. It probably wouldn't be so cute if I met him face to face, one-on-one, but up in the tree sleeping, he was just beautiful and gorgeous, and it was just a real treat to get to see him. And so that was my trip to Africa. Also, my husband had the opportunity. He saw a cat. I didn't see it. It was so fast and so elusive, but he said, that cat looks like our cat, Lynxie. And he said it was really fast, but it looked so much like our Lynxie. And we didn't know what kind of cat it was, and we couldn't really describe it, and nobody could really tell us what kind of cat it was. But it turned out it was an African wildcat. We looked it up on the internet and looked for photos of it when we got home, and he's pretty sure that it was an African wildcat that he saw, and he does look a lot like our little Lynxie, except the African wildcat's a lot sleeker and taller, and it was just amazing to see. So we had a wonderful time in Kenya, and I would highly recommend, if you ever want to go to Kenya, I would absolutely go. It's kind of a mix of New World and Old World. They're still developing, but and Nairobi is highly developed, and there's still some very primitive places to go. Of course, they have their problems that they're trying to work through on the eastern border where they touch Somalia. You can't get within 60 kilometers. They won't allow you to go within 60 kilometers of that border because it's extremely dangerous because of terrorism. And the militant group Al-Shabaab is out there, and so we were fortunate to stay in the Nairobi area and then to the west of there, and we were never in any danger, but they do have crime there. They have a lot of carjacking there. They do have cameras set up on the roads with flashing lights to take pictures of all the drivers so that they can catch the carjackers, and they have checkpoints and the tire spikes a lot of these checkpoints to stop the carjackers. So they're really cracking down on it. They're really on top of things there. So it's a wonderful developing country. It's more than developed. So if you ever want to visit, I would highly recommend getting the experience. One of the roads that we traveled on was actually an ancient road that's been around for more than 2,000 years, and actually if you follow it, it will take you all the way up to Cairo, Egypt. So it was a really fascinating experience for us, and I hope that you get to go. And I want to just leave you with a little thought, and hope to see you in the next video. Remember that when the path gets tough, you've got claws. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy pet sitting.